had a go at getting out once, and they came back because you know, the submarines, and then when we finally sailed, we'd only been out about 3 days. We struck a typhoon. And, that Ray Parkin, you've ever heard of him? He was a sailor on the Perth. He reckons it was as bad a storm as he's ever seen. The old Byuoki Maru, how it ever made it. We were down the hold, but the hatch was open. You could see these enormous waves as higher than a house. You know, you'd think, oh, never going to, but somehow or others, it you know, made it.
But we haven't actually talked about the ship. I mean, it was a wreck that was, it was being held together with steel girders, wasn't it? Steel girders, and in that storm, with the twisting, and you could hear snapping and cracking of some of the bolts, or the welding cracking apart. You could hear these explosions, and it sprung a hole down below once. The guys are having a wash, the water's spurting in, the guys are having a wash. The Japs come along and screamed and yelled, and they plugged it up with a bit of wood. We had to catch so many flies a day. There was flies, and you know, you had to catch flies, and they'd count them out because they were bad. And yeah, we got through that storm. But I was up on deck one day. You'd go up to the toilets, which was just boxes hanging over the side, and we were in a convoy, and the ship behind us got torpedoed. I heard this hell of a bang, and the thing seemed to split open like a banana getting peeled. And, yeah, but when did you, so if you left in July and it was 90 days, 3 months, it must be about October.
70 days it got.
70 years, thank you.
70 days, yeah.
So what were the conditions like when you arrived, or which port did you arrive at?
I think it was Maru.
And what were the climatic conditions like when you arrived?
Let's see, it was just autumn, I think. It was not, it wasn't too bad, you know, it wasn't getting cold. We were lined up and split into different camps. Reg Newton, he went off somewhere else, and we got on a train. I remember travelling all day in a train, and I was sitting near a window, but they had the blinds down, but I could just see out a crack. I had my eye to this crack all day, and I was passing. I could see, we passed places where they were making aeroplanes and things. But when I got there that night, I couldn't see, with the fact that I'd been looking out all day. I was almost blind for a couple of hours. And then that was when they put us on a barge and took us across to the island of Shikoku.
And what, because it must be getting cool, did they give you more clothing?
Yes, they used us some clothing. They gave us some stuff and only sand shoes to wear. And
did you have any other footwear when you arrived?
No.
You were in bare feet?
I was in bare feet. Just had a pair of sand shoes and a pair of socks, and one pair of pants and a jacket. And
they didn't give you a greatcoat?
No. But it hadn't got really cold then. This was around about December. It started to get cold.
Yes,
it was one of the coldest winters in Japan for years, I reckon.
Yes.
With snow on the ground, and it used to take us out to work. We had to march out of the camp to catch a train. We'd stand on these open trucks. And, I can't remember, I think it was about an hour's run in the train till we got to where this mine was. A copper mine. It went into the side of a mountain. That's when I got the job at this carpenter shop.
Did you work with any Japs?
Yes, I had one Jap in this carpenter shop. He was in charge of it.
And how did you get on with him?
He wasn't bad. When they handed us over, they were civilians. They were not army. The chaps in the camp, you know, army guards, but they handed us over to these civilians.
Yes. Yeah.
But they reckon some of the guys down the mine weren't very pleasant to the fellas that working down there. But no, he wasn't bad till he saw me looking a bit happy at all the bombers. They were coming over every day. When we first got there, it was nighttime bombing, but they started to come over in the daytime.
Did you need any medical treatment while you were in that camp?
Yes. I started to get sick. I had a very bad rash of tinea on my shoulders. It went right down my back. It was like a collar. When I first got to Japan, I had never had a shirt on, and a Jap soldier came over to me, and he looked at me, went away, and he came back and he painted me with iodine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can remember it stinging.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything, he just got this brush out and just painted me back with iodine.
Yeah. So when did you have your first contact with an Australian doctor, and who was it?
Well, it was David Hinder in Yarmany. Yeah, I got sick and he was listening to me chest. It was, I got pneumonia. But I had a bad cough and I couldn't go to work. And what's that complaint when you take a deep breath? It hurts.
Pleurisy.
Yes, pleurisy. That's what I had first. Pleurisy. If I took a deep breath, it was like a knife.
Yeah.
And then it turned into pneumonia.
Yes.
And that's when I reckon he got me through.
Yes. And where did you go to after Yarmany?
To Niama, a camp named Niama.
Did Doc Hinder go with you?
Yes, and I went straight into the hospital. They had one section there for the sick. Trevor James was in there. He got injured in the mine, and Straub Dyson, he had a terrible leg that he got injured in the mine. We were all in the hospital together.
And what did Hinder? What was your complaint, and what did Hinder do for you while you were there?
He was coming in drawing out fluid from my lung with a big syringe. I remember it was a big syringe. He used to poke it in my back and he used to feel around until he'd get it in and suck it out and squirt it into a tin.
Yes.
Every day he was doing this. Till he told this Jap doctor one day that this man will die if it's not drained. There was no drugs. Now you get antibiotics, but he reckons I had to have they stuck a rubber tube in when I had my operation, and it just drained for about nearly a month.
So where did you have your operation?
In a civilian hospital. Okay,
yep.
Right?
We'll be back about 3:15 through. Okay? Catch you later.
Bye, neighbours.
Pick my granddaughter up. What were we on? We were talking about
David Hinder and drawing
the
drawings. Well, he went with you to the Jap hospital.
He went to the Jap hospital with me, and he was there when they operated on me. 2 Jap doctors were carving me up, and I can remember calling them all the yellow so-and-sos and having